Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Today, we are doing something fun today, man. A lot of people have been asking me about, you know, when do you actually own real estate? Why do you own real estate? Right? And then what is the standard? You guys saw me post this morning on my Instagram, right? When you have high standard, you have less risk. When you have low standard, you have high risk. And I tell you from experience, when I started real estate, okay, I used to do deals just to say I'm doing deals. I do deal where it was 10% margin, which a lot of people do, I notice. And 10% margin, you guys, nothing. If you do a flip for 300,000, 350, 10% is $35,000. If the market shift 5%, 6%, or you overpriced it, okay, and then you got to reduce the price, your $35,000 can literally go away that quick. And you better pray that you're not going to close and have to bring money to the table and close. And I went through a lot of those experiences, and I spent 3 months, 4 months on doing a deal. And then at the end of the journey, you don't make any money. Or the worst part of it, you got to come to the table escrow with money, which is the most goddamn most frustrating thing, man, ever. Okay. Let alone all the frustration, the headache, the gray hair that you go through just to freaking break even or come to the table with no with money to close the deal. So again, there's so many young people out there doing real estate, and there's so many young teacher out there that's teaching real estate. They ain't been around the block, man. I'm 52 years old. Okay, I've been around the block. Most of the cats out there right now that's teaching ain't gone through a bad market yet. When they go through a bad market, then that's when they learn. I gone through the bad market, you guys, 3 times. I've been in real estate since 1991, and now I gone through the cycle, you guys, 4 times. So I mean, I gone down the dip 3 times, and I can tell you, every time I've gone through one of these moments, especially the 2008 moment, you really learn if you're paying attention. Because if you didn't learn from the last market, then shame on you because you ain't paying attention. So what I try to teach people on my YouTube channel now, on Instagram, TikTok, are all the life lessons that I have learned from owning real estate and the journey owning real estate. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about when and why do I keep real estate versus selling a piece of property. Okay. What up, Chuck? Good to see you out there, bro. So what up, Kevin? Good to see you out there, bro. So let me dive in and tell you guys, because everybody always DM me, Dad, what do you think, bro? You think I should keep this property or do you think I should flip it? That's probably the most common question I get on Instagram, you guys. Should I keep this property or should I sell this property? Now, if it's on my student in Springboard today that's in class, that still asks me, Dad, should I keep it or should I actually sell it? Now, of course, everybody want to keep rentals, but they are uncertain. Is this the right property to keep? From the numbers to the style of home to the rent to the location to states. And so I'm going to tell you from my own experience, okay, when you should keep a property. But before I go into when you should keep a property, let me tell you why you should keep a property, okay? Now, you got to make sure you connect this dot on why you want to own real estate. If you don't connect the dot, then what I'm going to talk about when to keep, when to flip, it's going to be not even relevant because you ain't going to hear it. Because all you want to hear is flip, 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 make the big ass bag of money, which everybody always do in real estate. If you notice, most people that teaches real estate out there or talk on social media talk about flipping real estate, not talk about holding real estate. If you look at all the TV shows out there, what is it all about? Fix and flip. There's no TV show out there, flip and hold, yet. Little hint coming, okay? Just so you gotta know, okay? So you gotta connect the dot on why you want to own real estate. When you can connect the dot, then you're gonna do what it takes to own real estate. And then the magic thing is, you're gonna manifest deal that's aligned to holding property. The people always flipping property are always unconsciously manifesting deal where the margin is low, so they have to flip. And then they give me this bullshit ass excuses. I'm trying to find me some bird deal, Thach, but I just can't find the deal with big and fast margin. And I say to them, and the reason why is because unconsciously you say you want burr, but unconsciously you really looking for a flip deal so you can make the big cash now. So you can take that money and then go buy yourself like a new car, some nice purses, living that lifestyle, going travel, right? Not eating a nice restaurant, because you can't live that lifestyle at the beginning when you own a real estate, because you need to get that passive income up. So people say, forget that waiting game shit. Let me go make that big ass cash money now so I can have it now. But then what they don't see, the young people, is when they get into their 50s, like me, then they get tired of working. They're like, shit, man, I got kids and I'm tired. I don't want to work. I don't want to keep grinding. I got this lifestyle I got to keep paying for, but I can't stop. I got to keep running on this treadmill. And that's when they realize, shit, I wish I'd have bought some goddamn rental property. In fact, used to preach that shit back in the 2020, right? 2020, 2021. And now it's 2030, 2035. And they're 50, 60 years old. They don't own no property. And then they say, shit, I was in California at a real estate convention, and a bunch of my friends was on the panel, and they asked, all the people asked, what's the biggest lesson you learned? Or the biggest takeaway you learned from owning, doing real estate the last 30 years? Most of my friends says, I wish I would have kept a lot of my real estate versus selling it back then. Because today I can still got to keep running on this treadmill. Okay. So point number one, why you want to keep real estate. Okay. Feel free to actually write it down if you guys want to. All right. Good to see a lot of you guys. Ace, what up, bro? Jesse, what up? What up? All right. Right. Number one, why? Now remember, why is a mindset. Why keep real estate? It's a whole mindset game. You got it? It's not even about strategy. It's mindset. You got to see it in your mind. You got to connect so that it can click over. One, I wrote down, it's a retirement plan. You get out of the rat race. Okay. How many of you guys got parents right now that's working 9 to 5, and their retirement plan ain't that much? So they got to keep working until they get old. Some of them work until they die. So many people come to me in my program and say, I want to create passive income. That's so I can get out of the rat race, so I can help my parents retired so they don't have to work until they're old and die. And I also want to have a retirement plan so that I can choose to work later on or not to work. Or like me, I choose to work and I like to work. Okay. And so that's why, you guys, I say to people over and over, the number one reason why you want to own real estate is for that passive income. That passive income is your future retirement plan. So when you want to start working, you still getting paid like you're working. And it helps you get out of the rat race because it replaces your everyday earned income now with passive income. Okay. But more importantly, you guys can actually help your parents retire, right? So they don't have to work. Now, let me give you Warren Buffett's quote. Warren Buffett says, if you don't find a way to make money while you're asleep, you're going to work until you're old and die. And unfortunately, guys, that is pretty much most people around the world. They work until they're old. I was in California last week. You guys saw that. And I was at this Asian restaurant. And in there ain't no young people working. They're all old people. Okay, meaning our parents' age, 50 years old and older. All right, this is in Vietnamese town, and also when I went at the Korean town, same thing. All the young generation coming up, they don't want to work at restaurants, and the problem is they can't find no workers. So guess who waiting table, busting table? All parents. And the reason why they have to do it, you guys, because they don't have no passive income. Their kids are just now getting started, or their kids, they don't have passive income. They got 9 to 5 job and they got to take care of their own self. They don't have enough money to actually help their parents, so they don't have to work. So it's sad when I'm sitting at this restaurant, you guys, multiple restaurant in SoCal, and I see all these parents, and I tell my wife and my kid, you guys see that? Look, those folks were there, they're in their 50s and they're busting tables and they're waiting tables. I can guarantee you, folks, if they had a choice, especially the restaurant business, and they're in their 50s and 60s, they would prefer not to be working on the feet 8-9 hours a day in a restaurant. But they have no option because they don't have passive income. I want you to feel the pain and understand when I tell you something. If you don't do it for yourself, do it to help your parents so they don't get up, so they can get off that treadmill. And some of you guys, parents, I know a lot of you guys are minorities. Some of your parents work what I call 9 to 5 grunt work. My mom worked at the factory, and I had to get her out of a factory job. So when you guys are out there bullshitting, ain't taking care of your business, you making all this money and you flaunting it and you paying, buying cars and shit, you flexing, spend all this money on nice shit, but you ain't really connecting the dot. Your parents might be those parents that still be working in their 50s and their 60s because they ain't got no other option because they got to work because their house is still have a note on it. That shit's real, folks. So point number one, passive income. Why you want to own real estate? Passive income. It's for your future retirement, to get out of the rat race, and to help your parents get out their damn feet so they can actually have freedom, option, and choice themselves. Why the hell are you going to let your parents, man, work so damn hard? They raised you all these damn years. Now you all ain't there out there taking care of them. I'm not even talking about your parents, even your kids, let alone just inspiring others to do the right thing. Point number two, why you want to own real estate, okay, is appreciation, okay? Now, there's people that work and they put their money in the bank. You're lucky you get 1% on appreciation on the bank, okay? They ain't giving shit out there. In a money market, you might get lucky to get 3-4% these days. That ain't damn nothing either, okay? If you making money, you throwing it in the bank, or you leaving a stock. Some stock do well, some stock ain't doing well, okay? Folks, it might not give you hundreds of $1,000s in the future to retire it. You know what I'm saying? So having money in the bank, folks, I said this earlier in a lot of my video, you can't save your way to wealth. You can save your money enough, and all of a sudden, your car breaks down and you got to fucking go into your bank and you got to go fix the car. Now you're back down to zero again. That's the reality of it. The great thing about owning real estate, you guys, okay, is the money get parked in the rental house, okay? The tenant's paying for your property. The tenant's paying down your mortgage. The property is just rising in appreciation. In Seattle and a lot of cities across America, home double in value every 10 years. Now, I did this analogy and I told you guys before. If you had $100,000 cash, if you put that money in the stock market guys are going to give you $100,000 worth of stock. $100,000 gives you $100,000 in stock. If I had $100,000, I put 20% down, get a bank loan to get a $500,000 asset house. Okay, and the rent is going to pay the mortgage. I don't have to pay the mortgage. The renter's paying the mortgage, right? And they pay the utility, they pay the property tax, they pay everything. All I got to do is come up with $100,000. 10-year when it doubled, the stock doubled from 100,000 because that's how much you put in, because that's how much stock you got. It doubled to 200,000. You made $100,000. But my real estate, when it doubled, you guys, it doubled in the value of the property. it go from $500,000 to $1 million. So my $100,000 10-year will make me $900,000 in equity. That's called appreciation. Leverage the smart way. That's how many years does a guy have to work to actually have 900 grand in the bank? Okay. Now, imagine you had 2 property doing that. You're set for life. You're a multi-millionaire for life. This is why appreciation is so powerful. You can't save your money through wealth. If you invested in real estate, you let the tenant pay for all the mortgage, all the utilities, property tax, and then you let it sit and let it ride. And you still go out there making money. Eventually, the cash flow get high enough and the network get high enough, you can now trade your 9 to 5 in and then retired. This is the dot people don't get. You get the short-minded. They're not thinking long-term. Think both. Think now to go make money. Think long-term, put your money at work for yourself so that you can have the option, the freedom of choice for tomorrow. Somebody say to me, well, man, I ain't worrying about tomorrow. I'm worrying about today. Good. Go worry about today. Go make your money. Take some of that money. Live good now. Take some of the other money, park it for the future so you can live good tomorrow. Some of you people live good now, but you ain't going to live good in the future. I used to say to all the students of mine, hard life now, easy life later. Easy life now, which everybody's spending money looking good now, hard life later. Which one do you choose? Okay, so I wrote down owning real estate, right? You have money. It's your saving, it's your nest egg, it's your retirement for the future, right? When you're asleep. That's the key thing. When you sleep, it's still making money. Look, see this plant? This is the money tree plant. That shit's growing. How about this damn thing when it was like this little? Look how much it's grown. It's growing even when I'm asleep. It's growing when I'm traveling. That's how I want my money tree, the real money tree at my house. When I'm sleeping, traveling, I'm still making money. That's why you want to own real estate, okay? Is for the appreciation. Now, let me tell you this, okay? My parents, okay, they didn't own any real estate. No one taught them. So my mom worked all the way till she was in her late 40s until I made enough money so I could retire her. My dad worked into his late 50s until I made enough money, I retired him. And thank God I retired him before he got cancer and then lived the last 1 year before he passed away. Imagine your parents had cancer and they still have to work and you didn't have the money to pay for them to stop working and their mortgage in their house. If they ain't working, they can't make the payments. Now they got a whole nother issue called foreclosure. This is real shit out there, folks, that I see every day. This is why I keep wanting to connect the dot. This is a mindset thing. You got to connect the dot. So thank God I made money and I had the income so I could retire my mom and dad before my dad died from cancer. This is real, man. This is why I keep telling people over and over. You see, all I preach about on social media is owning real estate, owning real estate. That's why. Today, you guys, I'm the opposite of my mom and dad. I own hundreds of property. And you know what I'm doing for the next generation? To Russell Hudson, my kid, which you saw on social media, I'm teaching them how to own real estate and why they should own real estate and what the benefit of owning real estate. So they will understand it so they can keep this going for the next generation. And this is why I've been preaching about generational wealth. So then they can teach it to the next kid. Then we finally broke the cycle. So somebody in your damn cycle need to break this cycle so that your family and the future family can stop living in this poverty lifestyle. Point number 3, why own real estate? Okay. Tax write-off. Do you know the wealthiest people in America? The reason why they invest their money in some kind of stuff like real estate, they don't even care if they get very low return on their investment. The biggest reason why they actually invest in real estate and they don't care for the return as much as they care for the write-off. They want the write-off. Most people don't understand this, okay? If you're making a lot of money, folks, $1 million a year, okay? If you're making $1 million a year, you're going to pay 50% to Uncle Sam. Okay? I want to read this to you so you can really understand this, okay? So read me, hear this loud and clear. Ace win. Break the cycle, bro. Break the cycle. So that's all I'm going to tell you. Break the cycle, okay? All right. I want you to hear this loud and clear. Ready? If you pay 25% of your earned income in taxes, you have to work 3 months just to pay the tax. Ouch. If you pay 25% on taxes, which is most people that work low income, you got to work for 3 months out of a year just to pay the tax. In the next 9 months, then you can start collecting some of that money. Now, if you are a high earner paying 50% in taxes, hear me when I say this, folks, you don't get to collect your real check, your first real check, until July. Ouch! What the fuck? Nobody talking about that shit. Okay? If you pay 50% to Uncle Sam, someone who makes $1 million, you're only netting 500,000, but you're spending $1 million. You got $1 million buying the Lamborghini, buying the Ferrari, buying the fat houses, all that shit, right? But 50% of the money went to Uncle Sam. And the worst part, you guys, the worst part, you don't get a real check until July. Well, you spending money in the first goddamn 6 months like you got money. What the fuck? People are tripping out there, bro. Okay? So, the reason why, folks, you want to have rentals, so you can have write-off, so you can keep more of your damn earned money. You got to be able to keep it. Now, let me say this to you. Let me put it in this perspective, okay? Most people work 30 years, okay? Probably a little more, okay? But let's say 30 years. If you work 30 years, that means you're only getting paid for 15 years of your life. That means Uncle Sam took the other 15 years. Your job is to figure out actually how to keep as much of your earned income so that you don't have to give it away, all of it. Now, you got to pay something to live in America. I get it, right? But folks, the more we make, we got to give 50% away to Uncle Sam. So you want to actually, you guys, have more money in your pocket from working so hard these years, own real estate. Now, I want to show you something, okay? If you make, say, 100 grand a year for easy calculation, and you own some rental property, you can write off the taxes, the depreciation, right? Wear and tear, put a new roof on, whatever. You can write it all off, okay? Let's say you made $1 million a year and you have $30,000 in expenses. You can write it off. So at the end of the year, you're only getting taxed for $70,000. If you're making $1 million a year, a lot of people like myself own a lot of property from single family to commercial. When we buy a commercial property, you guys, I can depreciate right off all the taxes, okay? Majority of the taxes of my 30-year loan, I can get it shrunk down. They call it cost segregation. I can get like 27 years of that push in advance and get it written off in the first year or two. So, but for easy calculation for now, keep it simple. If you're making $1 million a year and you have 100, 200,000, 300,000 a year in write-off, folks, now you're only paying 700 grand in tax. That's how much money you're saving and you can be able to put in your pocket for a write-off. That's why the wealthiest people in America, they park their money in real estate just so they have to write off. They don't even care for the extra passive income. So they don't care. That's bonus money. The passive income is bonus money for them. The biggest thing they want is they want that damn tax so they can write off. So they can make their $1 million and they'll pay tax on $500,000. That's how a lot of these people are actually keeping a lot of money. I know people that make $1 million a year and they're keeping probably $700,000. That's real. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, before I go into when you should keep, okay, and I want again, I want to remind you guys, okay, let me read it again. If you're paying 25% in tax, you got to work 3 months of the 12 months just to pay off the tax. If you're a high earner and you pay 50% towards tax, you're not getting your first real check until July. Break the cycle, people. Break the cycle, people. Okay? Be responsible. All right? Be smart about this game. Everybody's so busy grinding and working every day. Ain't nobody think it's smart. This is why I'm telling you again. Owning real estate give you appreciation, which help you retire and have other supplemental income to replace your earned income. Appreciation, have your money grow for you when you're asleep. So later on, when you actually pass away, you have a couple $1 million, right? That you can actually pass it on to the next generation. Or you get older and you can sell 1 or 2 property and live off those property. So you don't have to work for the rest of your life. And then 3, the write-off. So you can keep more money in your pocket, folks. Okay? All right. Now, before we go and talk about when we should keep property, do me a favor, you guys. Make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? I'm going to be doing more long-form YouTube education for you guys, stuff like this. This is why I decided to do it on the YouTube today, because I want to have this all recorded and so people can watch this stuff, okay? But I'm going to be doing more long-form YouTube, but do me a favor, subscribe to my channel, and please share it and tell all your friends to come and subscribe so they can hear what I'm saying. Listen, my vision, you guys, is to inspire and empower billions of people to reach for the goals and dream and see that anything is possible by me sharing my own life journey and my own mistake and my own win, so I can actually inspire you guys to say that if I can do it, you can do it. So my job is to be the lighthouse and basically shine my light in the ocean and trying to touch and inspire and empower billions of people. So if you gotta like all my content, right? YouTube, share it to all your friends for me. Tell your friends to come subscribe for me, and on social media, the same thing. Okay. All right. Let's talk about when you should own real estate. All right. After 30 years of doing real estate and owning real estate and made many, many mistakes, and I've been around the block for a cycle now. Most of the young teacher, if you notice, the teacher out there teaching on social media and on the gram, they're all in their 30s and the 40s. They ain't been around, folks. I'm 52 years old. I've been around the block many, many times. Okay. So they ain't gone through the bad time. They've been experiencing all the good time. They ain't experienced all the bad time yet. And when you go through the bad time, you're gonna have standard on what is a good property to keep. If it doesn't meet that, sell it. Okay. There's 3, what I call 3 ingredients that, in my mind, create a perfect rental property. Okay, you ready? 1, write it down. When you buy a property, okay, ideally, you want to buy a property where it needs a little bit of TLC, where you can add value and force value. Adding value meaning that you rehab what's already existing there, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, right? Forcing value is if it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, and unfinished basement, you're gonna finish the basement, put 2 more bedroom and a bath. That's called forcing value. You want to buy property where it's a little bit TLC. The more work it needs, the better it is. Okay, but you want to buy property where you can put a little bit of your own sweat equity in it. So by the time you purchase and rehab the property, you want to have at least 25% and more in equity in your deal. Okay, so let's just use an easy example. Purchase price and rehab all done, $700,000. Property is appraised after it's all done, $1 million. That means you got 30% equity in the deal. To be ordered to keep a property, you want at least 25% in equity. 30 is more. It's better. 35 is better. 40 is better. The worse you buy the property, the better chance you're going to get above 25, 30, 35, 40. Most of my property I buy, you guys see when I talk about the BRRRR, purchase price and rehab is like 500 grand and it's worth $1 million. So by the time I rehab the property, I'm all in for 500, but my property is worth $1 million. It's like all the other neighbor home in the area for $1 million. But I bought it such as a beater and I rehab it, I'm all in for 500, but it's worth the same as all the similar home in the area for $1 million. That's 500,000 equity. Okay. Number one, you want to have at least 25% and more in equity. Okay. If you want to keep the property. Okay. Number two, you want to be in the area where you can get good high rent. Okay. Long term. I'm not talking about Airbnb. Okay. Long term. Okay. So if you got a property, you're all in, let's say for $700,000, but it's worth $1 million, but you're all in for 700. Ideally, you want to be in an area where if you rent the property out, it will actually pay the mortgage of a $700,000 loan that you have on it. Because when you bought it for purchase price and rehab, you're all in for 700. Now you actually put down, let's say 100,000, right? You might owe 600,000. But if you're like me, you know how to refinance it and get your 100 grand back out, your down payment, you still owe 700 grand. Okay. You want to be in the area where the rent's high enough, it can cover your loan for $700,000. Now, if it does do that, if you choose to Airbnb or do travel, nurse, or corporate and get more than long-term rent, I call that the bonus. The mistake I see a lot of people do right now, again, a lot of young people, they're buying property where they're all in for 700,000, but for long-term rent, it only can cover 500,000 a house. So they have to go out there and do Airbnb, get the rent high enough to cover the $700,000 mortgage. But when the Airbnb business slow down, or they don't get the booking they like, or you get another COVID, right? Or you're in the wrong location, you don't get enough rent, you're going to be in trouble. What I always say again is this is standard. If you can cash flow on long-term rent from a tenant and you cash flowing, the bonus is Airbnb and travel nurse and corporate. That'd be the bonus. That's the standard you want to live by. Get it in a good area where you got high rent. Okay, long term. If you got high rent long term, you're going to get good Airbnb money also. Okay. Point number 3, when you keep a property, you got to be in the area, you guys, and a city. You got to be in a city and an area where it can double in value every 10 years. Thach, I live in Seattle. It's so expensive in Seattle, man. It's so expensive in LA. It's so expensive in the San Diego. It's hard to make it cash flow. I won't talk about it on this segment. Next time I might do it, we can talk about ADU. Okay? ADU is auxiliary dwelling unit. Okay? When you're in an expensive area, you can buy houses and you can put extra units on the same lot, and you didn't pay for the lot. You just put another structure on it. That's what it costs. You can get lots of cash from those ADU. It will make it penciled in expensive area. What people do is they don't know how to think like that because no one taught them. They go down and they go to cities and town where they get a property, a whole house for like 80 grand. Okay. Now it cash flow in those areas. So they go, but it cash flow. But the problem is, people, you're going to own these property for 10, 15, 20 years. And I can tell you from experience, I owned property in a certain part of Seattle back in the day where I owned it for 20 years. And after 20 years, I bought the property for 135. 20 years later, you guys, it's worth about $200,000. It didn't do well. There's certain section in Seattle now is more expensive to get in, yes, but I know how to do it by doing ADUs on them and make a cash flow. I can buy a property for $300,000, and in 10 years, it'd be worth $600,000. So yes, there's people that go down certain city and town and they buy property for cheap. The problem is that they don't appreciate very much year after year. So after 20 years you own property, your net worth didn't grow that much. And the cash flow that you had, some people put it back on the table and they go buy some more real estate. They just buy more of the same stuff, but they got more cash flow. And it's great that you're living off the cash flow. But what come along with homes that is cheap is high maintenance tenant, high turnover, and the property get damaged more often. So all the cash flow you've been making, a lot of them never talk about. You have to put that money back into the property to rehab it, because the type of tenant you get for those property are more high maintenance, and to beat the property up, and the wear and tear is worse. Will even make it worse when you ever want to sell it. That property now is super tired. But before you sell it, you want to try to get top dollar. What do? You got to go dump a bunch of money to rehab it. So all that cash flow you've been making, you have to re-put it back in to rehab out every time a tenant move out, or rehab the property when a tenant move out, you want to sell it. And now you look at your whole spreadsheet after all these years of owning real estate, you didn't have a lot of actually savings or net worth at the end of the day. Ouch. How do I know that? I've been there. And that's why I'm telling you the 3 ingredients. I realize the standard 25% and more in equity when you do a deal. Find an area where you get high rent so it cover your mortgage better. 3, get in an area where you have appreciation. So that 20 years now, you don't look back and go, why the hell did I own all these goddamn property? After all the years and all the headache and all the shit I had to go do to own these property, blah, 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 blah. My damn net worth went from 300,000 and it's worth 400,000. In certain area, it can double and triple after 10 years, folks, and 20 years. Okay? So now I'm going to answer some questions. All right, real quick. And after that, all right, I hope you guys are learning a lot from this. Tampa is a great ass place, Johnny. Man, I got a bunch of students in Tampa, bro. That's killing it in the Burr model. Killing it in the Burr model, bro. Okay? And they've been with me for 14 months. They own 6 rental property doing it the Burr model. Cash flow. They work, one work as an engineer, one work as a pharmacist. And they're killing the fucking game in Tampa, bro. Killing it, bro. Okay? All right, next question here. How do you know in the area appreciation? That's a good question, bro. If you look at Zillow, let's say you pick a house, and you can go back on Zillow or even have a realtor friend that can show you what did they pay for that property. For example, let me see if I can find one of these properties. Okay, here's a property. This is a county record. Okay, Zillow have this, right? Tax record has this. So this person here, okay, they bought this property, just to give you an idea. They bought this property in 2003 for $200,000. Okay, today, look what it's worth. This is assessed value too. This is a 2021 assessed value. Look what it's worth. $460,000. So that's how you know an area has gone well. Property just got appreciated. And you know, but just by following along with Zillow and homes on the market, damn, that property worth 500 shit a year ago. That shit, they were only selling that shit for like only 425. What was it 5 years ago? 375. What was it 20 years ago? 200. Okay, most area in the United States are doing well, but down south, some of those areas, right, that you buy property for like 100 grand, they don't go up in value much. Okay, what do I think about the Hawaii market, Joan? I think the Hawaii market is good. It is expensive. It's expensive like LA. It's expensive like Seattle. It's expensive like San Diego. So in order to cash flow property in the high end, we have to find a way to create more cash flow out of the same piece of property. So in Seattle, if this was a lot, okay, which I do a lot, okay, and the house happened to sit in the front on a single family lot, city allow us to put another unit in the back up to 1,000 square feet. Those property right there cost me $250,000, $300,000 in a bill, but I can rent it for $3,000. You guys saw the post I posted on Instagram yesterday, right? We had 1,000 unit ADU. We rented it recently, 1,000 square feet, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. It got rented for $3,000. Now, if you had a house in the front, house in the back, and this didn't do as well, but this did real well, it'll balance it out. That's how you can cash flow in an expensive area. Why you want to invest in an expensive area? Because why it's expensive? Because everybody want to move there. That's why the damn property appreciate like this. But it's hard to cash flow unless you're doing what I'm saying. Joan, that's why I got a bunch of students in Hawaii. That's what I'm teaching these people how to do, is to create second home in the backyard. Okay. All right. Next question. That's what up, Chuck? You're a blessed man, giving blessed to other. Great father. Thanks, bro. I appreciate you, dog. I'll get back with you on that deal today in San Diego. I mean, in Seattle, bro. I'm working on it today. So you're going to get a phone call from me, okay? So you know. All right. That's what about Canada, where houses are 6 to 8 times regular household income? Right. Now, again, Canada is as expensive as LA, Seattle, okay? All these other area. Folks, I'm going to say this, and please hear me when I say this to you guys. You guys are keep looking at property that is already finished. Remember I did the example. If you buy a property, you rehab it all in for $700,000, but the property worth $1 million, what the average home sell for, let's say in the neighborhood. If you went and bought $1 million house, it's going to be hard to cash flow that damn thing unless you could actually put more units on it to create more cash flow. In Canada and in other cities, it's expensive. You can't go buy a turnkey home. Why do you think I always make video and try to be entertaining? I say, don't buy the nice house, buy the ugly house. And here's why. Because when you buy the ugly house for $500 and you rehab for $200, you're in for $700, but now it's worth as much as a house that's worth $1 million, right? Now you only got a loan for $700,000. Now it will cash flow better in Canada, Hawaii, Seattle, LA. So you can't go out there and buy property already turnkey like $1 million. First, why you don't want to do that? Because you're buying it at peak market value. There's no room to add value, no sweat equity. And secondly, you're paying top dollar, right? And so it ain't gonna cash flow well unless you put down 40, 50%. But if you go buy yourself a property that need work, like a $500,000 house, right? You put some money in rehabbing it, you all in for $7, but it's worth $1 million in that area. I mean, if a home is worth $1 million in the area, I mean, the rent is worth that area high also. It will cash flow the property better. That's how you got to do it in Canada. That's how you got to do it in an expensive area. All right, one more question. Hey, do me a favor. If you guys like what I'm saying, man, do me a favor. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? And go tell every one of your friends about what I'm doing out there. Because remember, together, me, you, and everybody, you guys up there, let's go touch 1 billion lives together. Let me teach you, you get it, and then you teach the next person around you, your family, your friend. So together, let's go touch 1 billion lives together, okay? So do me a favor, make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and make sure you guys tell all your friends and everything so we can teach them together. Cool? All right, next question. How do you find a contractor? All right, good question. How you find a contractor, you guys? Number one, you got to go see who's doing rehabbing, who's fixing houses in your inner circle. Ask them, who you use, bro? I use this guy named Chuck. How long you been using with Chuck? I've been working with Chuck for about 2 years. Is he reliable? Yes. All right. Is he expensive? He's not the cheapest. He's not the most expensive. He's reliable, and his price in the middle. That's good. You don't want the cheapest guy either. Okay. Get reference for them. If they say, no, man, I've been working with that cat for like 2 months, bro. That guy sucks, man. Don't mess with him. Go get referral. The second thing you can do is put it on social media. Who has a good contract you've been using for a while? I'm looking to do something, right? That's another one. Go to social media, Facebook, right? Go on somebody's Facebook real estate investment group and ask people who they use on there. That's another way to get referral if you don't know anyone who's doing it, right? And then Craigslist, right? And Angie List. Go there and read the review and see who's doing it. That's how you do it. Now, at the end of the day, after you get all the referral, you still don't know until you got to get in bed with them. And I hate to say it. After all the great research, maybe the first one, if you did a good job, you still gonna have some issues. You feel you gotta go through some, getting your elbow skimmed up, your knee skimmed up, right? Get your head, hit your head against the wall a few times. But you need that to toughen up your skin, to understand what you shouldn't do. So next time you know what you should do when you have a contractor, and you learn from that. If you don't get referral and you just go out there and hire somebody in the yellow page, you're gonna get more than a skim in the knee and a skim in the what's it called. You might have to go to surgery, man, a hospital, man, get ER surgery, because you're gonna go through some serious pain and you might not want to come back and do real estate no more. So do your due diligence, get referral, but I will tell you, you will actually still get some bumps here and there. Okay. All right, you guys. I hope you guys love what we talked about today. All right. Please share this with all your friends. Subscribe to my channel for me, right? And you guys have any comment in this video, and then I can, make more video in the future about it. All right. Go tell your friend. Make sure you guys follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. All right. Have an awesome day, you guys. Remember, man, don't wait to invest. Invest now, then wait. Peace.